Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Our guest today is Casey Hensley. So, Casey, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do.
Casey Hensley. I currently live in Pflugerville, Texas, aka North Austin suburbs, originally from Idaho. My partner in my business, her name's Marissa, aka Momo. She grew up in the Bay Area, and we're married, and we both live up in Pflugerville.
Awesome. See, I'm just curious about your business. Like, what exactly do you do?
So we own a food manufacturing business. We create a product called Momo's Michelada mix. I guess I can show you a little bottle. It's a Michelada mix, and we also now have a stupid rim salt, stupid good. We have it in a couple different sizes. And yeah, so we basically just manufacture this delicious juice, and we distribute throughout all the state of Texas to bars, restaurants, grocery stores, liquor stores. We ship our product outside of Texas, and we just got our first Las Vegas account, and we've shipped it to the Sam Adams Brewery and breweries down in Florida. We've even had bars in Puerto Rico sell it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of a game changer in the world of micheladas.
Awesome. So I'm just curious more about your background. Like, what did you kind of do before this, and how did this idea come to life?
Okay, so I've kind of been wired different my whole life. I've been an entrepreneur since I was like a little kid, just always scheming, doing different things. In fact, I'm not ashamed to share this. My first entrepreneurial endeavor, I would rent out my dad's porno collection to all my delinquent buddies. And this was back in VHS, VCRs like that. So yeah, I had like a logbook for all the movies and where they were when they were rented out, so I could rewind them to the spot and put them back in the spot so my dad never noticed. And yeah, I had a fun little blockbuster enterprise going on of the adult kind as a child, basically. But so, being an entrepreneur is never far from my path. And I've always kind of done things that allowed me to be creative and try things as an entrepreneur. And I'm just always focused on watching other people be entrepreneurs and hearing their stories. And I don't come from any entrepreneurial pedigree, I had no one that I could look up to or whatever. It was just kind of like my own thing that I was always interested in. So after high school, I joined the Navy. Even when I was in the Navy, me and my best friend who was in the Marines, we started putting together a business plan for when we got out of the military. We were going to open a bar. So the drinks industry has always been intriguing to me, especially as a naive, 22-year-old when we were embarking on this. And so my focus went towards that. I started bartending, and then just randomly a person. So I was handing out my business plan to whoever would come up to the bar and wanted to talk shop with a young, naive, aspiring business owner. And so I did that enough times to where there was a lady who owned a little bar down the street from the bar that I was working. She came in one day and said her son got thrown in prison, and he was running the bar for her, and she had no interest in running it. Knew that I was interested in starting the bar, and basically said, if you take over the rent, it's yours. So I did just that. Me and my buddy partnered up on that. So that was my first legit business ownership was a bar. I owned that for a few years, sold it, moved to Austin, managing venues and stuff like that, bartending. And I guess I'm kind of skipping over my greatest success in business was I started a Facebook group for the hospitality industry. And that Facebook group actually got acquired by a tech company so that we could work together in building kind of a LinkedIn for hospitality professionals, because it's not your typical workforce.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not LinkedIn ready. It's very casual, of course. Anyways, so we started building that, and then the pandemic happened. And basically all the momentum from that project kind of fizzled away. So I was stuck looking for a direction, what I wanted to do. Luckily, I already had a itch that I wanted to scratch in my Michelada recipe that had already won Best Michelada in Austin back in like 2018. So a couple years before the pandemic, we already knew we had a great recipe. We won a competition. It was called Michelada Madness. And so we had this recipe, and even like a buyer from Whole Foods kind of approached us, and they were like, hey, I'm kind of interested in getting your recipe, and so we could white label it. And I was like, yeah, no thanks, but no thanks. But that sparked a little bit of excitement for me for that recipe, and kind of gave me the excuse to think very highly of it, basically. And so when the pandemic happened, we were just kind of a ship without a rudder, not knowing which direction we were going to go, both me and my wife. And then I just decided, let's try and see if we could bottle this and sell it. And I named it Momo's, which is my wife's nickname. So basically I business trapped her, if you will. She was love her to death. She was always kind of like, when you're the partner to an entrepreneur, you're always kind of like the free labor, whether you like it or not. She was always like supporting me and behind the scenes. And what I really wanted to do was bring her to my side and allow us to build a business together. And I wanted it to bear her name. It also has a great ring to it. Momo's Michelada Mix. It's delicious. I don't think anyone's using that catchphrase anymore. But anyways, so we started it back in 2020-ish. We dialed it in, just kind of started building the plane as it was already in the air. We didn't have the proper labels, and we're just using cottage food law from the beginning, just making it in our kitchen in small buckets, and then taking it out to farmers markets and stuff like that. Wearing masks outside in the heat of the summer sun. Anyways, we've come a long way, and now we're the top rated mix on Amazon, which is something I'm extremely proud of. And I can objectively say we're the best Michelada mix in the world.
I love that. Yeah, and you were saying earlier that like a lot of your focus right now has been kind of, throughout Texas. So talk more about that. Is it more so in physical retail? Was it in bars? Like, where are you kind of seeing traction with your product?
So it's easy for us to get into kind of retail, I would say. And it's an avenue that we are not prepared for entirely. We don't have enough team members, enough resources financially, because our product kind of requires demos in order to like really understand it. It's more expensive than other mixes, but what people don't really realize is that it's double to triple the servings per bottle. So they look at our price versus other prices, and they don't want to roll the dice. And also Michelada mixes before us are really just kind of nothing to get excited about, nothing to get out of bed for, nothing to crave really. And everyone's always adding their own personal touch to it. And so with our mix, it's kind of set it and forget it. Like just do 2 ounces, add your beer, start drinking, and you're really going to enjoy it. But back to your question. So we're in a lot of places, retail, but we're also in a lot of bars, restaurants, breweries, golf courses, hotels. Those are our focus, because so long as we can present it and get them on board with how to make it properly with our mix, it's kind of a set it and forget it. If they put it on the menu and they pour it right, then we get success. So we really lean in on it's called on-premise in our business. So we lean in on-premise. And our next kind of development is we're going to try and focus on TikTok shop.
Oh, cool.
Or, a little more social media sales and stuff like that. Because we want to start working smarter, not harder. And we were invited, thanks to the CEO of Super Coffee, Jimmy. He got us into an incubator for TikTok.
Oh.
We're like basically being told how to be successful on TikTok. So
that's awesome.
Quite the blessing.
Yeah, Jimmy's a great guy, and TikTok is obviously a great platform as well. In terms of like when you have it like on premise at these places like golf courses and places like that, like what does that process look like? Because obviously you were saying there's like a level of training involved with the staff. How does that training kind of work, and like how do you make sure that they are doing things properly and kind of making these drinks the way that they're supposed to be made with your mix?
The easiest way is just to do a pre-shift or a staff meeting, like 15 minutes before service. And basically I just introduce myself, let them know that I too was a bartender, and I understand the biggest problem with micheladas is inconsistency. And with this mix, we're solving that inconsistency by giving you a simple, easy, replicable recipe, which is literally the easiest recipe ever, but we're also having to break a habit. Like everyone's used to just like taking their Bloody Mary mix, building it a certain way, and like we're letting people know that the current michelada business is broken, or the way people that are making micheladas willy-nilly just adding their own zhuzh to it, and you never know what you're going to get as a customer, just kind of doesn't really work. And consistency breeds success. So I try to convey that, and really we try to do those staff trainings, because if we're only talking to like the general manager, the bar manager, communication isn't always dispersed. A lot of the times, unfortunately, our product will get brought in by an owner and the staff will have no idea what this is, never seen it, never worked with it. And so we try to mitigate that unknown and just like tackle it head on. Luckily, it's something we only have to do once, because even though there's a lot of turnover, at least someone will be there to pass down like, oh, this is Momo's. You only need a little bit of it to get the job done, and yada, yada. So
for sure,
that's kind of how those staff trainings work and how we get people to do it the right way. And for the people that don't like reciprocate or don't communicate very well, usually they don't do well with it.
So in terms of,
if it's not on the menu, I'm not going to walk into a dive bar or someplace and just be like, as a consumer, and just be like, ooh, I bet this place makes a badass michelada. So no one's going to order it if it's not on the menu. And it's something that's going to make the business more money because it's a value add. Instead of just serving them a beer, you're essentially able to charge them for a cocktail.
For sure. And then I guess like in terms of what you're seeing with the on-premise venues, are there certain types of venues or even certain times of year when you're seeing more sales? Like what does that kind of look like for you?
Yeah, we're kind of in our busy season. Actually, July 12th is National Michelada Day. So we're in our prime time, and we're also a really good like holiday gift and stuff like that. So basically our season is from March till Christmas is what we've found. Things get a little busier basically from May till Christmas.
Got it. So yeah, sort of like summertime, people are outside with their friends at the pool or, golfing, and they kind of want to have one, and that's a good place to be selling it.
Yeah, granted, in Texas, things are a little different because it's so damn hot.
Yeah.
But people are still drinking it, whether it's they're opting for indoors versus the patio and
Exactly.
stuff like that, or popular to drink by the pool and stuff like that.
Makes sense. So if you could go back in time to before you started this business, what is the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew?
Can I do two?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I believe it was Jimmy that actually said this, and it just struck a chord. And so I gained a lot from meeting him and listening to him, but he basically said things are never as good or as bad as they seem at the moment. And so, like, yeah, like I've had in business, it's like ebbs and flows, and they could change in like 20 seconds when you look at your bank account or you get a text message or something like that. You could be on top of the world, and you could be drowning the next. So that really sticks with me, is like, just keep going. It's going to be good. It's going to be bad. You just got to keep going. And I guess I would tell myself who all my suppliers are that are the cheapest. So over time, when you're first getting started, you're just referencing Google or whatever. You don't, and you just find the first person that will answer your email or your phone call. And it's a process of constantly trying to find a better bottle maker or better boxes for shipping, so I would tell myself, I'd give them my supplier list to speed up all that effort and time.
Well, that's good advice. So if somebody's watching this and if they wanted to either reach out to you or to buy your product, do you mind sharing best way to get in contact and also your website or best? Yeah.
So momosmicheladamix.com is our website where you can order. I did mention we're on Amazon, but we don't want people to buy our product from Amazon if they know better. The reason we're on Amazon is so strangers that we've never met before, they have an opportunity to discover us, and hopefully they choose to start buying it from our website, where there's more options and stuff like that. On our website is our contact information, as well as you can follow us on Instagram at Momo's Michelada Mix, at Momo's Michelada, no mix. And you can DM us. We answer all of our DMs and stuff like that. And there.
Awesome. Well, Casey, thanks so much for your time today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.